I'm Diana Steele, and I'm here at Fresh Street Market in West Vancouver, and today I'm talking about spring cleaning your refrigerator. So actually going through and taking everything out of your refrigerator and cleaning down the shelves with hot soapy water, but also having a look at some of those condiments that you've had on your shelves for a few months. If you haven't used them in a few months, I highly recommend you evaluate how long you've had them for. Did you know that something like ketchup, after it's been opened, only lasts for about 6 months? So if you don't use a lot of ketchup, don't buy a really big container because you're going to end up throwing it out. Same thing goes for a mayonnaise. If you only use small amounts, after you open it, you should really get rid of it after about 2 to 3 months, which is not very long. So again, buying smaller containers so that you can go through them faster. Buy their best before dates or by the time that since the time that you've opened them. Milk is something that you want to make sure is stored in the proper container. For one, it has a best before date, but once it's opened, it only lasts for 7 days. You don't want to store your milk on the refrigerator door. You actually should store it in the back of your refrigerator because it's much colder. If it's on the door, then every time you open the door, it's going to warm up the milk and will reduce the shelf life. Another food that should be stored in their original container are eggs. For one, because they do have that best before date, and you can actually stick to that date if the egg is unopened, but also because eggs are porous, and so when you take them out of their carton and store them on the refrigerator door in that little nice container that's there, they actually will absorb some of the odors from your refrigerator. So it's better to store them in your carton in the refrigerator on a shelf where they stay nice and cold. The other thing that shouldn't be on the door, which most people probably wouldn't do, is put their meats on the door, but they should actually be on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator. Some refrigerators will actually have a meat drawer for them, and I would use that. Otherwise, make sure that they go on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator. The reason for that is you don't want any drippings from the meat to go dripping down onto other food and cross-contaminating them, which increases the risk for foodborne illness. Now, a sliced meat like a steak or a pork chop can actually be in the refrigerator without being frozen for about 3 to 5 days. But when it comes to a ground meat, only 1 to 2 days thawed. Otherwise, you should stick it in your freezer until you're ready to use it. Same thing goes for fish and poultry. These only last for 1 or 2 days in your refrigerator when they're not thawed, and then otherwise put them in your freezer or cook them and then store your leftovers in the fridge. And the leftovers can last for about 3 to 4 days in your refrigerator. Deli meats, if they're in a sealed container, will last until their date, or if they've been opened, 3 days, no more than that. Same with the deli meats that are coming from the deli counter, 3 days. So that's not very long. You want to make sure you're using them up. If you're buying produce, then again, sometimes things like berries, they can be kept in their original container, whereas other vegetables can be transferred into a plastic bag and stored in the crisper. So I usually talk about various vegetables over the week, so hopefully you can hear about how to store your vegetables and fruit better. And then finally, use a thermometer for your refrigerator. Unless your refrigerator has a thermometer already, a fridge thermometer can help you keep track of the temperature, and it should be 4 degrees Celsius for your refrigerator and minus 18 for your freezer. So check it out and see if your refrigerator is the right temperature.
Thank you, Diana. If you have any other nutrition questions, you can call Diana at 604-739-3290 or go to her website, eatingforenergy.com.